Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to Heroes Lounge. I am Bahamut, your caster. This is a Division 2 matchup between Let's Take Boss and the one Sharklet. We're going to fix that. I'm so used to saying Ghillie Shark, and it's pretty much the entire same team, so that's going to be difficult for me. But really quickly, just while we have the first bans happening here, why don't we go ahead and show you what the actual map bans and picks were. The coin flip was won by the one Sharklet. They went ahead and banned out Battlefield of Eternity. Let's Take Boss actually ended up banning out their own double boss map, which is going to be Cursed Hollow. And the first map was chosen by the one Sharklet, and that is going to be Volskaya Foundry. Taking us back into this draft, though, we do have our first ban. It is going to be Medivh. And the one thing I was looking at these two teams, I don't know Let's Take Boss. It's just a team I have not seen before. None of the names look familiar to me, but I was just looking through some of their stats, and both teams won their first weeks in a 2-0 fashion, so I'm really excited to actually see what these are going to be doing to each other, and if they've done research. Now, I can talk like heavily about the actual draft that can come out of the one Ghillie Sharks, because I've seen them from multiple seasons of other leagues, and this is actually a little surprising. So the one thing that we often see from the one Ghillie Shark, or from the one Sharklet, is the Samuro pickup here, and maybe that's something Let's Take Boss actually wants to do themselves, but I don't know. And they banned out Medivh and Diablo. That's actually a really good setup with Leyline, Seal, and Apocalypse. You can combo those on top of each other and then get a lot of burst. Throw a Jaina with that as well, or even a Gul'dan or a Kael'thas. A lot of good mages that can dump a lot of damage right on that point are extremely powerful. I like that, taking those off the table, but I think that these two teams, they really don't have a lot of information on each other, and so that will be a Garrosh first pick for Let's Take Boss, but a 1-2 pickup on Tyrande and Joanna. Two pretty standard heroes that I'd say we see from them. And the other good thing that I like about this is when Joanna and Tyrande are run together in a draft setting like this, and you have just the 1-2 and then you go into the ban phase, grabbing a healer and a main tank, it really solidifies the central part of your draft. And that way it's going to be hard for the enemy team to ban out against you, because realistically they have to look at just map objectives and such, and maybe they know some of your strong points, but it kind of leads you in a good spot where you've got a good dedicated healer and a good dedicated main tank. Now on the other side, we are going to have this Decker Kane and Phoenix being picked up with that Garrosh, and it's a lot of good synergies. Stay a while and listen. We also have Lornado, Purification Salvo's big, even Planet Cracker could come into play, something maybe with a Warlord's Challenge, but the research has been done, and they do take out the Samuro. I am sure Stark is groaning on the side of the one Sharklet, because, well, that is the hero that he plays most often. Not most often, but he's well known for it. But the other thing too is that Jaina being taken out. I like that poke damage being taken away. The slow actually pairs well for the Phoenix. The one thing I want to talk about, and I actually just saw this, Angus Lee was actually pointing out, no Mal'Ganis. That's actually surprising as well. No Orphea either. And I would have actually thought that we would have seen both of those pop up, but neither of the teams prioritizing them. And I did look, and there's no hero bans to my knowledge for this matchup. The other thing really quickly, Mrs. Wind Up Bird, thank you for coming by. Orsi, thank you for coming by. Ector as well. Vader, August Lee, Flipping Hots. I think it's actually just Key. Thank you all for coming by. Everyone who is checking out the stream, checking out the matches. It's been a little bit since I casted on my channel, and I appreciate you coming by and supporting some awesome games and some awesome teams. But that will round out the draft for Let's Take Boss. They're going to have that Kael'thas. A lot of good point control with that. Pyro Bomb is something that's actually an option here. And there's really nothing that can kind of just get rid of it, per se. They could pick up a Blaze here, but that Malthael's already their solo lane. I would actually expect a Mage in this situation. Some extra range, okay, some range damage. I like that. The other thing, though, Yrel is going to be in that solo lane, and in the past and in many games, I've actually talked to quite a few people, and they say, yeah, Malthael is a great player into that. Also, Dancing for Penguin. Hi, welcome. Thanks for coming by. Everybody, thank you for being here. I really appreciate all of you. You are all, oopsie, I hit the bandit button, which is just the stream starting soon for when I'm playing Hero League. But you had a flash of bandit for a second there. But we are going to be getting underway in just a moment. We have these two teams, and honestly, looking at the two drafts without actually thinking about the teams and the players behind them, I'm kind of liking the draft that's coming out from Let's Take Boss. I think there's a lot of good setups with that. The one thing, though, the outlier is going to be that Abathur, because what value that Abathur gets during the objective phase is going to be a big determining factor for these teams. And if Abathur runs away with experience, that's just going to be a slug and a team way far ahead of the enemy. It comes down to play. It always does, but I think just purely looking at who's on what side, kind of liking the side of Let's Take Boss. But speaking of Let's Take Boss, we have them on the left-hand side here with Imbuement going to be on the Garrosh. Midnight Haze is going to be on the Phoenix. Maxim going to be on that Kael'thas. Little Bex on the Deckard Cain. And rounding out the team on the Yrel is Sancho. Then on the right-hand side, we have the one Sharklet, with Stark going to be on the Raynor, Kagekiri going to be on the Abathur, Jinxie Cat on the Joanna, Kaimo Tripson on the Tyrande, and Chesslooter will round out the team in that solo lane on that Malthael. Let's get into this as we move into the middle lane. We already have Abathur going into the top and Yrel already going into the bottom. Little Beck's going to get scouted out by the Sentinel for just a second. The other thing, too, to note here is we actually have Ace in the hole for the Raynor. So Stark going to be trying to get some extra damage from any sort of slows or stuns. And anything else I'm trying to look at level 1s here that kind of sticks out. Nothing really too out of the ordinary. Abathur going into that support role as well with the shielding. But at the start of this match, we are just going to be having the two teams just get some rotational soak here, as Maxim will be scouted out by the mine from Kagekiri. I like this. I like these rotations already coming out. We do have a stun that will be connecting onto Midnight Haze, and that will be a nice boost to Stark every time that Kaimo Tripson is able to land one of those stuns. That will allow that Ace in the hole, that 15%, to really take off here. The other thing, too, to note is that in these rotations, they're going to be trying to deny and also pick up as many of these gloves as possible for that Kael'thas. We don't have a Convection Kael'thas, so we're not going to be seeing them trying to just sit there and hit Flame Strikes. We're actually just going to see them just going purely on rotation, grab the regen globes, making sure that they have that mana shield as quickly as possible, because that is apparently, oopsie, and I'm breaking camera lock. There we go. Apparently that's healing Abba for show is not allowed by Twitch moderator. No, let's get that fixed really quick. But we are back in here, and we are going to be having the right side camp picked up, and the members of Let's Take Boss are going to be picking up their fortification camp as well. We'll see if there's going to be a skirmish over the support camp. That might be coming up soon, as we do have another minute and 20 or so until we have the first objective popping up in the mid lane. Meanwhile, in bottom, it is that eternal battle between the two. But support camp is in the eye for both these teams, and they've pulled it over to the right side. I like this play by the one Sharklet. It's a smart move to make sure that they do kind of have that advantage and they're not positioned too far forward. Jinxie Cat doing the smart thing here, also just sitting on the point. Rest of the team, though, will be coming in at this time. That is going to be a nice scroll ceiling coming down, but no connection yet. The Unstoppable is already used on Jinxie Cat, so they don't have that anymore. No one's picked up the point. It's been contested. Imbuement will be getting the toss onto Chesslooter here, and that is going to be a Lunar Flare that will be connecting. We have Sancho coming in for the flank, and this is a huge brawl taking place. That is going to be a huge sacred scroll of ceiling onto so many members, but they actually get the first kill onto Yrel, followed by the kill onto Imbuement and the Deckard Cain as well. Little Bex will be going down 3-0 as the one Sharklet grabs the... Kaimo Tripson taking a lot of damage from Maxim. They will be grabbing the Biotic Emitter here, and they also will have a little bit of an advantage to grab the right side camp, as well as get onto this control point first. Now everyone has spawned back, and Abathur is in this bottom lane. Midnight Haze could find Kagekiri as the conveyor belts are being a little obnoxious, and he just says, you know what, I got a tunneling claws out of here. Just gonna go into that top lane and get some extra push, which will help quite a bit because of the fact that we often see first Triglav protectors go in for that top lane as well as the gate and prep for that point B. But we'll see. This could completely be the camp, the point picked up by Let's Take Boss, and the one Ghillie Shark, the one Sharklet could end up losing out here. We'll see. 5 to 6 in levels. Starting to get a little bit of a gap here on the side of the one Sharklet. We'll see. Maxim may find Kagekiri. Okay. That was so close. I don't know how he didn't see him. That's so crazy. Sentinel going to be going out, scouting out the Kael'thas. They do know that they're trying to come in. 58% sitting on the Sharklet Protector going up from there. Stark is looking to maybe chase this Kael'thas a little bit, but they're still playing safe, getting a push back top. 6 to 7 in levels. We do have that talent advantage. We also have that Mule on the Abathur to make sure that they have the healing ability for some of these structures. That's a big factor on this map, especially when you siege mostly through the objective. But it is overtime. This is 4v1 technically, since they don't have the Abathur clone just yet. We do have Chest Looter stepping in. That is going to be a scroll ceiling going down, connecting onto a couple. The Unstoppable is used by Jinxie Cat. They also have the Shield Glare to make sure that those autos aren't going off. And Buman is getting really low here. Chest Looter with the hat from Abathur will connect and get the... Actually, excuse me, Stark will get that. They're almost going to find another kill. Not yet. Ooh, it's close though. Sancho and Little Beck's getting a lot low there. And it shows a little bit through the Decker Keen healing, just kind of how hard it is. I'm hitting the wrong buttons. I don't remember which ones. It's number 5 for all the healing. But Decker Keen, I'm not saying that they're under healing by any means. We can look at the numbers here and it's seeing it's just about equal. It's the speed at which you can get your heals out is the big factor. I was playing Decker Keen last night, and that's at least how it felt for me. In a lot of these situations, it was just like, oh, I want to heal so many people on my team, but I just can't. And you have to be really strategic with your cooldowns as well as your mana on top of that. But this first Sharklet Protector is getting burned down very, very quickly, and I don't think they're going to be able to have the advantage that they typically want when they're going to be, you know, pushing into this top lane, taking out the front well, and making sure that they have that down before the next objective. But Imbuement is going to be trying to go into this back line. It's not going to work out for them. Shielding coming out from the Triglav Protector. They still siege onto this gate. Jinxie Cat will have the Condemn to maybe pull some people in and slow them down. That is going to be the slow coming out from Deckard as well with the Haragic Cube. No follow-up onto the kills, but here's the thing. Let's Take Boss. They've got to find a fight as soon as possible. Once they get that 10, that means that they can bring 5 members in these fights, and it's going to be a lot harder when you have 2 Malthiels bearing down on you, or you have 2 Rainers just attacking from a distance, or even double Tyrande. All of the lunar flares will just be an absolute nightmare. But 8 to 9 in levels. Starting to get a little bit of a gap here. The members of Let's Take Boss have a lot of good opportunities before this 10 hits, and even after it does, it's not like they've, you know, their map is absolutely pushed into them. They really didn't lose out too much during that first Triglav Protector phase. A front gate in the mid lane, and that was really about it. Maybe a little bit on that top lane, but overall, across the map, this is really, really well defended. They just got to find that about a level gap that they need to close here. The Sentinel went out from Kaimo Tripson, and they know to invade this as quickly as possible because, as I said, they've got that 10 advantage. They've got all of the tools they need to really take an overly aggressive fight because, well, I mean, you drop Hyperion on people, you get someone low enough, and then you just drop the last rites, and that's, well, you've now got a really difficult fight on your hands, and you're also still down that 10. We are going to be having the Mule come down from mid lane. And this is going to be the top point for B. I should be actually coming up in a few seconds here, if I'm not mistaken. But they're just trying to get onto this as quickly as possible. The other thing to note on as well is we do have the support camp coming up. Jinxie Cat will get the Condemn onto Imbuement. They will find that little combo there. And also, just a note for everyone at home, we also have Kael'thas at 18 out of the 20 stacks for Mana Addict, so they will be having that shielding fairly soon. And that's an uncapped quest, meaning that they'll be able to continue to stack that after they have the 20 globes and make that mana shield even bigger. The big thing that they get at the 20 globes is the power increase. Excuse me, not power increase, but his mana increase, which is going to help quite a bit if you can throw out more spells and you can be a little bit more wild with your damage, which is big for some Kael'thas players, and that will complete the stack right there. Meanwhile, just setting up for the for point B. They've got the right side camp picked up on the side of the one Sharklet. In bottom lane, Chess Leader and Sancho going into each other. And it's always fun to watch like the off lane at a higher tier, or at least competitive play, because you often see the way that they play. They almost soak their own lanes, and all their minions are gone. And then they're like, all right, now we'll fight each other. Now there's no minions to soak. It's always a weird thing and fun thing to watch. But we did have the couple members from the one Sharklet go down into bottom and maybe try and get a pick onto the Urel. Wasn't going to happen as they rotate right back into mid. Imbuement is going to get slowed a little bit here. Jinxie Cat with the Condemn, but it is a 4v3. Kael'thas is maybe finding someone with the Gravity Lapse. That is going to be Celestial Attunement, giving that little bit of a cleanse there. Correct, Celestial Attunement? Yes. So getting Jinxie Cat out of that sticky situation as quickly as possible just with a heal. Very, very powerful for them. And now we just see the rotations coming up from bottom to top. Jinxie Cat will jump up onto the point. We have 2 camps in top lane pushing against each other. And now, with all of the talents that they I wouldn't say all of them, but with at least Mana Addict fully stacked up, and they have their 10s as well, I want to see how this fight will play out. I wonder if 10s is just the talent tier they need, and Bumid is going to be tossing one in from the back. Chesler are going to find a way out. That is going to be the Hyperion dropped as well. That is the Phoenix trying to get some damage onto a couple of these members. They go ahead and try and get a Lunar Flare, but it won't connect. Chymotrypsin launching one of the Sentinels out, and that is also Kage Kiri with the clone onto Stark with another Rainer, and that's really just going to kind of poke at them a little bit here. A lot of things burned in this situation, but realistically, no deaths and no major advantages. Kage Kiri's clone will go down. They've got another 68 seconds on that one, and without the clone, this is a 4v5 in favor for Let's Take Boss. But the thing is, it's 11 to 13 in level, so that talent tier advantage might be a little bit of a nerve-wracking thing for them to use. We'll see, as they are going to be trying to go in for this next fight. A lot of tools for the members of the one Sharklet, as they do have a Biotic Emitter and a couple turrets. They go ahead and drop one. That is going to be Sancho diving in as well. The Biotic Emitter dropped. Jinxie Cat a little bit low here. That will be the Stay While and Listen connecting. That also will be 4 members on with the Purification Salvo, and a lot of damage is going out, but no one dying just yet. Huge Lunar Flare, and so many members are going to die. That is going to be Garrosh and Decker going down. That was the Purell ultimate going off as well. Maxim so low. Sancho, will they be able to get out? The poison's too much, and that is 3 for nothing, 12 to 14 in levels, and we currently have bottom lane being pushed out by the Slug. That is going to get a lot of value, as they'll be able to body soak that, hat soak through middle lane, and then they have the Triglaw Protector in top lane, really pushing that out as oh my god, Midnight Haze getting out with under 100 health. This is honestly like, this is a pretty close game, and a lot of these fights could 1000% be in favor for Let's Take Boss. The only thing that I'm noticing is that they stack up a little bit on some of the tight points, and that's really where they start to flip it, because Chymotrypsin's getting those huge lunar flares, and then they can just push down on them with damage. But meanwhile, Maxim in the backline is dumping some damage onto Stark, gonna get healed up by Chymotrypsin, and they still have the Hyperion that's sieging in with this as well. And the play that I'm seeing here is they want to go for the top lane keep, so that way when point C activates in like 4 minutes, they'll be able to have consistent catapult pressure through top lane, and they can just delay that out. They can play that so super slow, and that allows them just to have a huge advantage, because, well, if there's catapult pressure consistently through top, throw Abathur up there, that's even faster pressure, and now you know, Let's Take Boss is going to be on a timer just to try and finish it out, take a fight, or they need to back out and allow a free Triglav to go over at the C point. And that's often where we see a lot of teams try and go for the throat or go for the end of this match. But currently going to be having camps picked up, and it's pretty much just the reset phase in between these Triglav Protectors. They have a 16 talent tier advantage. They could be trying to play us a little aggressive, maybe going onto the enemy side camp. We'll see if they go for that, or if they're just gonna look to soak up 4 more levels and go for those 20s and have that Storm talent tier. But mid lane, grabbing this fort is a very, very smart idea. That experience is going to bump them up quite a bit, and they really can't fight into this. It's 13 to 16. They've got a minion wave with them, and Chess Looter has the Abathur hat to shield through a lot of the damage that will be taken from the towers. Left side camp, though, picked up, and we see them go for the support camp. And this is just, yeah, they're just rotating, they're grabbing items and preparing for the point C. And if the more items you have, that's a big part of this map, is having these items. And I think a lot of teams overlook the value of having some of the biotic emitters as well as the enforcement or the fortification camps, because it offers just consistent damage that people often don't pay attention to. You drop a turret in the middle of some of these points, I've seen teams just absolutely ignore it, get hit by it consistently, but they're going for that fight. They want to go into that backline, try and find the support or something like that, and then, well, they're just getting kind of, not shredded, but really getting hit quite hard by that. Meanwhile, Imbuement is stepping up a little bit. Stark going to knock them back. That will be the Celestial Attunement out from Chymotrypsin, which will allow them to be just fine here, and they get the clear on this. And I like how they delayed out that camp on the right-hand side. They knew that they weren't going to play aggressive and try and steal it from them, so they said, all right, we can just leave this. We'll go ahead and clear the top lane of its camp, push it in a little bit, and then maybe even wait for the timer for C point, because that should be about 30-ish seconds off, if I'm not mistaken, from the initial timer. And bottom lane, though, we do have that Abathur still pushing in, or excuse me, holding down that lane. And this experience gap is starting to fade between these two. If they can find 16s before this next objective, that'll be huge for the members of Let's Take Boss. 16 to 16, I think it offers a lot for them. The other factor, too, is we also have the Ancient Blessings from Decker Kane. Having Ancient Blessings, I don't think they had it in the last fight, I think it was like 12 to 13 or something like that, and they tried to go in, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been 13 to 13, and they might have actually had it. I don't know. I feel like that, like this they just needed these 16 talent tier, and this is definitely an opportunity for them. But the other thing to consider, Yrel's in that top lane trying to soak up against that Abathur, trying to close that gap as quickly as possible. But once this opens, they're going to need to rotate off, and Stark is actually going to be taking his time, going up into top lane, going to grab this siege camp, and that should be pushing top. And as Yrel leaves, but we do get 16s for both sides. And with 16s brought into this game, this could be the dynamic shift they need on the side of Let's Take Boss. A lot of good talents here, a lot of beneficial factors. We'll see how they're able to play into this. I'm using this time to just drink as much water as possible, but we have the Sentinel go out. They will start to contest this. Jinxie Cat doing a good job of just diving in between just to slow this out. They will start to get points over this, and I wonder if they're purposely just trying to let them take this so that way Kage Kiri on the Abathur in top lane can get as much value as possible. And they're also pushing in. I think they're trying to go for their Storm talent tier and get that 20 talent tier and then just fight them with that. Because I won't say it's every single one of them, but I feel like it's a lot of these objectives have been almost a talent tier separation between the two teams, and that's really where they're able to get a ton of value here. Meanwhile, Kage, super far up on that Abathur. No one going to be looking to try and stop it just yet. That will be the Sentinel going out, just getting some vision onto a couple of these members. Midnight Haze and team are looking to step up, and Buma trying to find someone to throw into the friendly team, but they know, and they just back right out of there. Meanwhile, Kamo Tripson gets off the point, and we have Jinxie Cat just kind of jumping in between the two. That is going to be the toss and everything going out. Unstoppable is used. They have the stun on top of it as well. That is also going to be the little turret camp going down onto the conveyor belt that will rotate around and just continue to poke, and as you can see, Buma taking quite a bit of damage from that little turret, and they also land the Sentinel on top of that. Kamo Tripson very, very accurate with these snipes on the Sentinel, and this turret's still going round and round. They move their way right back into here. 20 talent tier is in their favor. Lunar Flare does not connect. That is going to be Imbuement using the Indomitable, but the last rights are there, and that picks up the kill. Chest Looter going to be low here. That will be the Stay a While and Listen coming out, and they kill the Phoenix before it gets the kill. They still have the Biocomitter out as well. Yrel goes down, and they turn their sights onto Maxim, who actually gets knocked back, but Kage Kiri in that clone wants to go for the kill. They get dismounted before they can chase, and that is top lane shredded through by the Abathur and the camp there, as well as this should be a Triglav Protector. And the big question that I gotta ask to the Sharklet, to the one Sharklet, is do they take it through top or do they take it through bottom? It's a longer walk through top lane, and they have a higher potential. They can respawn. And I think you just take it through mid maybe and go for a second keep, or you go through bottom and go for. There's more. The experience isn't really the main grab at this point, and I think they're gonna try and at least go through mid. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. All the death timers are already over. Everyone's already back up. Going through top lane might have actually just burned down the entire thing way too quickly. So they actually tried to step around the sidewall, but then they're just like, all right, well, maybe we got to play this a little bit slower. Abathur is going to be sitting in that bottom lane, getting some nice added pressure for the friendly team. Meanwhile, they step up onto this keep. They want to get more catapult pressure going in this game. Meanwhile, also, Yrel in that top lane, going to be de-pushing all of... Oh, Midnight Haze? Okay, no. Gonna be able to get out of there fine. But Yrel making sure that catapult pressure doesn't amount to too much, and they're doing a phenomenal job of actually defending this, and I was thinking that they would push into this a lot harder, but this is a nice little siege. The Hyperion going to be coming out afterwards as well. Meanwhile, Sancho looking for a flank here. Kamo Tripson might be the target in the situation, but it's not the case as they lose their keep. They move over towards the core. I don't know if they can end with just this. Regular Protector only sitting at about 9% health. They'll take down a little bit of shielding. Is a little aggressive. That might have actually put them in a horrible spot here, as they actually have the Stay a While and Listen coming out. That is the Purification Salvo connecting onto almost every member. Chest Looter's still going to be fine, and they're looking to try and take this fight, but they pull them over underneath their own keep. They get the kill, but Malthael will be going down here. Malthael also has returned. And Kage Kiri on that clone trying to find little Bex, not going to happen with just a little bit of health. They actually do end up finding the kill, and it looks like they'll start to chunk down this core. The minion waves are going to be a bit of a nuisance for them. Ooh, the Lunar Flare could actually, no, Stark going to be stealing that kill away from Kamo Tripson. And this is going to be game number 1, going over in favor for the members of the one Sharklet. GG. Well played. I love that. Like, that little intro of just, like, the Zerg screaming, like, the Zerg wave. Oh, God, that reminds me of like, StarCraft when I was, like, a kid. Like, just that was terrifying playing the campaign. But, really quickly, we're going to go ahead and pull it over to our handy-dandy little draft screen. In case you missed any of it from game number 1 and you came a little bit late, the coin flip was won by the one Sharklet. They went ahead and banned out BOE. We had Cursed Hollow banned out by the members of Let's Take Boss, ironically enough, because it's a double boss map. And we had first game that was picked up by the members of the one Sharklet, and that was on Vizcaya Foundry, which they won. We're going to game number 2, which is the choice of Let's Take Boss, and it does have a boss on it, and it is going to be Braxis Holdout. And so let's go ahead and pull it back into our draft, and we are going to be having a Diablo and a Genji banned out at the start of this. Don't tell Becky, is it that? I promise, I won't say anything. But I honestly gotta say, I loved the first game between these two teams. I think that there was a lot of good even matching there, but at the same time, the Phoenix, I wish it had more enablers. Like, I wish there was like something like a Thrall in there as well. I think that would have been a big factor for them, because they could have had Earthquake, and that really would have set up the Purification Salvo a little bit more. Not that Sail One Listen doesn't at all. It's just, I think that it was it hinged on that moment happening correctly, and if it didn't, I wouldn't say it fell apart, but it didn't get the damage they wanted. But it actually got banned out in the second ban phase by Let's Take Boss, and I think the one Sharklet was upset. And so now they take Samurai on the one spot, and now I'm seeing in my referee chat that I was gonna take Zeratul this time. That's so good. I absolutely love that these teams. I love it when teams have little banter like that. It's so good to me. But we have a Garrosh once again first picked on the side of Let's Take Boss, and on top of that they've got a Maiev. Maiev is actually something that I to be honest have not seen too much in a lot of the like divisions that I cast. This is Division 2, which I'm assuming is kind of like anywhere from like diamond to like high gold is kind of what I'm at least what I'm guessing. And that's that high diamond area is often where we see Maiev. Like, I play in gold. Like, I am not gonna lie about like, oh, like I deserve to be Grandmaster. You can understand the game and be mechanically potato. That's me. And even though I don't even understand the game comparatively to like some like pro players like Vader, for example, who's in my chat. Thank you for hanging out and watching the games. High diamond to master, actually. Okay, all right, thank you. So wait, is Division 1 like all pretty much GM master then? I'm learning Heroes Lounge. Like, this is my first cast. So Div 3, I'm in Div 3 and it's Plat Diamond. Wow. So I'm like Div 5. The one Sharklet shall become the 3 Sharklets. I like that. That's clever, Vader. That's clever, Vader. This is going to be the Jaina that was actually banned out in the last one. We actually had the Phoenix banned out here. So they swapped the Kael'thas for the Jaina. They're going to pick up Arthas for that solo lane. The question I have here is, do they then just Malthea once again? The last rites is big. Jaina has Ice Block, but once she actually finishes her questing town, so there's going to be the Malthea on the Li Ming for the resets. Ooh. I really like this. Bahamut thinks I'm a great player. I do think you're a great player, Vader. I'm a potato in general. I think we're all potatoes at our core. We're all potatoes. Lower numbers is higher ranks. So Div 1 is GMs and any. Okay, so that's what I thought. Thank you for clarifying that. I appreciate that. This last pick though is going to be an Ana. They did need a support. The Nano boost onto the Jaina will be huge. That will allow them to then drop Warlord's Challenge. They'll be able to do the Warden's Cage. There we go. You also have Ring of Frost, or you can go Water Elemental. This is actually a map where we see more Water Elemental because you have that extra player in the battlefield per se, and then Ana can just boost Jaina to the moon in some senses. Once again, like I said it in the last game and I'll say it in this one, looking at the two drafts, teams aside, players aside, all of that, I like the draft coming out from Let's Take Boss. I think there's a lot of good setups, and I think that's exactly what I saw last time and what I hinged on maybe a little bit too much. Oh, dang, JTR. Brutal. But I won't say that their draft hinges on a single, thing to happen, whereas last draft was a little bit more towards that direction. I think they've got a lot more flexibility with this overall, but it's Samuro. I mean, I do gotta say it's Samuro, and I love me some Samuro, but we'll go ahead. Let's get into this. Game number 2. On the left-hand side, we are going to be having Let's Take Boss, with Dr. Suave going to be on the Garrosh, Maxim going to be on the Jaina, Midnight Haze on that Maev, we'll have Little Bex on the Ana, and in the solo lane, we have the lone Sancho on Arthas. And on the right, in the red, we have the one Sharklet. Up one game, trying to close out this best-of-3 series. We have Stark on the Samuro, Kaimo Tripson going to be on the Tyrande, Jinxie Cat going to be on the Joanna, Kage Kiri on the Li Ming, and rounding out the team once again in the solo lane is going to be Chess Looter. And we're going to have the two solo laners actually jump right into that top lane. They want to battle it out immediately. I'm already on a talent. Okay. Oh, actually, sorry, hold on one second. We are going to be having a little bit of a brawl breaking out. I do like the pick onto Bonds of Justice. If they are going to be going into Samuro as much as possible, that will be a very easy talent to quest up on, as well as the fact that it's a point control map, so you're able to sit there and get a lot of these Umbral Binds onto quite a few players. Now, the one thing is, I do not know, this is Eternal Hunger. Okay, so I often don't see that at level 1, so I was like, wait a minute, that's a new talent icon. But we already have Stark on 12 stacks of Way of Illusion. Samuro really working those things up there. Meanwhile, Chess Looter and Sancho duking it out. It looks like Sancho's going to have to tap their well already early in this game, but it's a 2-minute cooldown. They'll be able to have it before the objective pops up. Actually, no, it's the shortest objective in the game. I think it's like 1:30. Yeah, it's 1:30 in the game when it's actually active. 1 minute when it goes live, and because I think it's like the same thing pretty much as Blackheart's Bay, but that's not a competitive map per se. Oh, thank you, Hotera Gaming. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate that. I haven't swapped over to XLR yet, but soon TM. But thank you for coming by and checking out. We are, though, still having just rotations. Just looking for just some sort of questing. Like Jaina, for example, is on the Fingers of Frost. We have Dr. Suave actually getting the right toss onto Stark there, trying to stack up that Way of Illusion. Meanwhile, Kage Kiri dumping some damage from that backline. Kaimo Tripson going to continue to get those heals out as well. But the beacon phase has started. Looks like Chess Looter will be holding over top lane. Stark and team are going to be on this bottom, and they will start to have a little bit of a positive charge. Ooh, the toss on the Stark. They were trying to get one of the clones over the wall, or excuse me, the main one over the wall, as they can't really swap just yet. I'm just I'm waiting with a little bit of like Brax's holdout. It's all about just like, all right, like who's gonna step a little too far out of the position. Dr. Suave, I think, is just trying to bait a little bit of the abilities here. But the other thing too is it really stacks up Stark quite a bit, and I like the game plan here. They're trying to get that one that's actually real over the wall, but unfortunately in this situation it's not working out for them, and they've already got themselves up to 84% with the charge that will be stalled out for now, as the real clone was swapped away from, and they'll be able to make it out just fine. There was a sleep dart that went out from Little Bex onto the right one, which allows them to kind of pause that for a second, but Kage Kiri just dumping damage on that Li Ming, and that's the one thing I really like about Li Ming on this map, is you can just sit there from this backline. If no one really steps up onto you, you can whittle some of these members down. Maxim getting a little bit low, Kaimo Tripson trying to find that lunar flare onto them, but this is going to be the first beacon phase going over in favor for the members of the one Sharklet, I do believe, and that will be a top lane Zerg wave push. Maxim already going back because that is their main source of clear at this time. You're going to be able to dump some snow in this top lane. Chess Looter going to be trying to get that pushed up as best as possible. Meanwhile, in bottom, maybe a little bit of a brawl breaking out, or at least they're just getting the clear onto this and realistically denying the Zerg wave from even entering the lane. That's a smart move. I haven't seen anyone actually do this yet, where they pull the Zerg wave down in this point, so it's not even in the lane. It's just getting kind of zero value, as Midnight Haze gets an Umbral Bind and doesn't stack it on too many clones. They are sitting at 6 out of the 10, I do believe, necessary. Yes. Some of these I'm like still just trying to memorize. Maxim may fight a... Oh, the Ice Lance going out but not connecting. I was like, is Maxim about to get a nice little pick onto Chest Looter? That'd be huge for them, but no. Not gonna be happening. Wait, is Kaimo a grill too? Kaimo Tripson is a boy. He's a good boy. He's just a really good Tyrande player. As I say that, he's gonna be pulled in here. Still staying alive. A lot of Q resets going up for Li Ming. Those, oh my god. The juke was not enough, and that will be Tyrande going down. First kill of the game, going over to the members of Let's Take Boss. As I compliment their support on the side of the one Sharklet, it does not go well for them. Zerg, though, going to be ending at this time. Jinxie Cat, I think, getting caught out of position here. I don't think there's anything she can do, and that's going to be another pickup. That is what they needed on the side of Let's Take Boss. That is a significant experience gain for them. It'll push them quite far ahead here, and they'll actually... I keep meaning to do experience, and they keep hitting healing. But you can see there, I mean, it's a 2,000 difference between the two teams at this point, and that's a big factor. Being able to start to get this lead, and then now applying that in a lot of these fights. They'll have another Zerg control point opening up fairly soon between the two teams, and that will allow them to push this slight advantage that they do have. I'm trying to show the healing, and now it's just taking things away. I gotta get myself back into the grind of casting. But really quickly, I just really want to thank you all for hanging out and watching these games as we have a big breakout in bottom lane. Chest Leader is going to be caught out here. It's another kill going over for the members of Let's Take Boss. Kagekiri and Tyrande looking to just get this camp and get some top lane pressure. Meanwhile, Jinxie Cat is getting pushed in so hard in bottom lane with this camp as well. This is a nice play coming out from Let's Take Boss. They have an experience lead and they're not letting it go. They've just got themselves a little bit more, pushing themselves further in this map. And if they can get 10s before the next objective, that'll allow them to be extremely aggressive, and they can play this map the way they want. Stark gonna be trying to step up on the maximum, not gonna find the kill, and the real one is in a bit of a hairy spot. They'll be able to make it out just fine, as there is the wave to kind of pick up some of the tower shots there. And overall, the two teams reset, grab camps, and prepare for the next objective. Looks like the beacons are reactivating. 24 seconds coming up on that. We are going to be having Midnight Haze looking for one of the clones, but swap going out. I think they actually do get the danger ping onto the real one. Meanwhile, we have 13 seconds left on the objective timer here. The scout comes out from Tyrande. Dr. Suave is seen in this bush. We do have the bottom lane pressured up as well by this. Jinxie Cat has the Unstoppable. That is going to be the Lunar Flare connecting, and they don't have another throw. I was like, wait a minute, don't step up too far. No, there's no throw available for Dr. Suave. Unfortunately, they were not able to pick up a kill. What, 9-8? And that level gap, it's still about a 2,000 difference. I mean, it's getting closer. It's definitely getting closer. If they can get a kill at this point, that'll be huge for the members of Let's Take Boss. We have the Umbral Bind going out into a couple. We have some resets on the Fan of Knives. Chest Looter trying to find their way out. That is going to be Janus. Blizzard doing quite a bit there. That is going to be... Oh, the Groundbreaker is going... Oh my god, Jinxie Cat with a Condemn just saving a teammate. 9.5 to 9 in levels. Beacon phasing is going over in favor for the members of the one Sharklet. Sancho is up here by themselves. Chest Leader has come up as well. This could be the little bit of a turn they need. Some body blocking happening as well. They just need one more hit, and that will be Arthas down. Levels, though, still a little bit in favor. They are going to be maybe finding Jinxie Cat here. There is no Iron Skin for them available, and that is going to be a 1-for-1 trade. A solo lane for a main tank. They stop... excuse me, actually. Yeah, they do stop it for now. I was seeing it go back over in favor, and I was like, wait a minute, are they already going to turn this around? Even being down their main tank, but 10 to, well, about 10. And I don't think we're going to see anything too out of the ordinary when it comes to our heroic talents here. Oh my god, no, Arthas, no, it's not Sendragosa. It's Arm of the Undead, right? I'm not reading that wrong? Yeah. I got, oh, no ice block either. That is going to be the Jaina going down in the situation. Sancho, though, will find the Malthael. They could turn onto Stark if there is no clone available, and yes. So a 1-for-2 trade It's a little hyper-aggressive coming out from the one Sharklet, and now we can see Let's Take Boss. They have an advantage here, and this is some momentum they needed. This is kind of what I talked about a little bit in the first game, where they need to start just taking some of these smart fights, getting these individual picks, and that's exactly what they're doing. Question is, are they able to continue to apply it throughout, or will the one Sharklet be able to adjust their gameplay? We do have the Starfall coming down. That is going to be the Warden's Cage, and Chymotrypsin is stuck in here, going to get pulled back by one of the Wardens, and that is a dead Tyrande. Meanwhile, Jinxie Cat is just going to get the Condemn onto the Nano Boosted Maiev. Nano Boosted Maiev, just terrifying. I think that, like, even with, like, can you imagine just, like, the Q resets? Midnight Haze, though, might be caught out. That is going to be the Vault of the Warden. They do have the Blink, and it's going to be good, as Dr. Suave is looking for one. Little Bex gets the friendly toss out with the end of the fray. Meanwhile, Stark is actually scattered out by Maxim here, and they're going to chase it. The clone swap at the last second. If Dr. Suave can get this, that'll be big for them, but it's not going to happen. Stark able to get out, with one of the clones going to be hard thing at this time. Meanwhile, they'll rotate up into the top lane. A little bit of a quote-unquote feature. They actually denied the clone from the Hearth. That doesn't allow Stark to be able to swap over to that. So with 300 and some health, looks like they're going to be moving their way up here and trying to take a fight. Just Looter going in on a Sancho. They actually popped the Armor of the Undead, and maybe it was just a bait to get that out. And Maiev is going to have the blink out just in time. And this beacon phase, this later phasing of the game is getting real, I would say, nail-bitey. We're getting to that point where both these teams are, it's coming to a point where, all right, well, who's going to make the bad move in this fight, and then who's going to benefit the most afterwards? And there's a lot of damage coming on to Chymotrypsin. We are going to be having the top lane brawling out as well, but bottom lane, Midnight Haze is getting so low here. Are they able to get one more? No, they're not. The healing out from Little Bex is too good. I gotta shut this out. Little Bex with almost 36,000 healing. And Chymotrypsin on 20,000 healing on the Tyrande. Little Bex on the Zana is doing work. We do have Sancho in a little bit of a bad spot. There isn't a gate to really run behind. We do have the Watermelon popping out as well. They turned on to Maxim, and I think this is going to be the last rites, and that is a last rites out. Now the Water Elemental is chasing Chest Looter. That could be the kill onto them. We'll see if that actually happens. That does happen. Water Elemental will confirm that as Stark kills that. And now we have a little bit of beacon phase in favor for the one Sharklet, but they deny that instantaneously. And 13s are right around the corner for them on the side. Little Bex, just kidding. What can you expect? You only play as healers? That's true. That's true. I'm not a support main, so whenever I see numbers like that in comparison to the opponents, I'm just like, whoa, you are doing work. But, work aside, we are just going to be having... Oh, the nice sleep dart actually onto the real clone. I had to get somebody to drink there. Dr. Suave, though, a little far forward. That will be the Lunar Flare connecting as well. Maxim trying to get some poke. Nothing just yet. 13 to 12 in levels. They should try and play this aggressive. They've got that talent here, and you can see them stepping up to the point, but they need to step up for the fight. Let's take boss. They've got so many good tools here. They're looking to maybe get onto Stark. That will be the Umbral Bind finishing at level 1 with that Bonds of Justice. That is going to be the Starfall coming down as well. Kage, Kiri with a dump of damage, but here's the thing. They find the Jaina kill. It's a reset for Li Ming. Do they have another combo in them to maybe find a kill? Not yet, as they are a little bit low here. 13 to 13 in levels. Looks like Samurai is going to be going into the flank on the bottom half, maybe looking for that Ana. We'll see how they're able to adjust to that. Dr. Suave. Yeah, they are going to be going onto Little Bex. There are the health pings coming out. Do they separate them? I don't know if they're able to do this. One of the clones has ran off, so they can swap over to one of those clones, and I think that's exactly it. You can see them go over to the right-hand side and go right over into the bottom to help out the friendly team. And a nice pick for the members of the one Sharklet. This charge goes in their favor, but they're still 38%. Only 10 sleep dart stacks at 11 minutes. Ouch. It's hard, though. It's definitely hard. At least when I played on it, it's hard, but we do have Chest Looter taking a lot of damage. The toss goes out. I don't think they're going to be able to make it out of this alive. The taunt's there as well. That is a dead Malthael. Someone can stop death, and it's apparently the members of Let's Take Boss, as we currently have Samuro kind of 3v3ing in a sense. Stark does get the swap out. Jinxie Cat will rotate up. A couple of these members are low. If they can rotate a team up quick enough, they'll be able to get a good fight, but that's not going to be the case. They actually go ahead and grab the camp on the right-hand side, and that will have some bottom lane pressure, but they do give over a little bit more charge for the members of Let's Take Boss. And the big thing, I keep saying it, no one's taken boss. Why hasn't anyone taken boss yet? I mean, I know there haven't been any like major advantages to go for it, We do have those. Samuro is sharking around, maybe looking for that on. I'm just looking at the mini-map at this point. We currently just have a lot of people playing around here. We do have the flank onto this camp. They do dive on. They are going to try and go for someone here. That is going to be Jaina getting blown up first. That is a reset for Li Ming. Little Bex is going to be the next target. The Into the Fray is going to save them here. That is going to be the Warden's Cage trying to stall this out. The taunt will be there as well. Midnight Haze is a little bit low, getting reset after reset on those Fanta knives. Meanwhile, top lane is going to be a little bit of a brawl, but this bottom lane is really where all the action's at as we push in with this camp. And the members, oh, Dr. Suave, can you get out? Yeah, they should be just fine. And actually, Jessica chasing so far. Looking maybe for Midnight Haze at this point. They don't have the Blessed Shield or anything. And I think they're just going to go ahead, take down this fort. They've got a camp as well as a 100% Zerg wave in this bottom lane. The thing is, though, they're going to need to send someone to that top to deal with all of those Zergs. I don't think it can just be just Chest Looter, especially with Santro poking in on this. That might be a little dangerous. We'll see. And it seems like, no, that's going to be the case, as we do have 4 members, or, well, I guess 6 members? I caster math. I think it's going to be 7 members down here in this bottom lane. No, it's 6. It's 6. I was double counting the Samuro. Anyways, Santro actually is in a little bit of a bad spot, and as well as Dr. Suave, Stark will be able to find that kill, and that is going to be a reset for Li Ming. That is also going to be a lot of damage coming out from Kagekiri into that backline with the Disintegrate, and they're trying to go past this keep. I think they're trying to end here, as Maximum is going to get pulled in as well. That is going to be the Ice Block, and with that Ice Block going out, that means that they can chase this a little bit deeper. They were going for that Lunar Flare. Maiev is going to be picked up as well. Arth is going to be picked up on top of that. Reset after reset, kill after kill. That is going to be the core attacked at this time, and with the 4 members dead and no boss being picked up, that is going to be game number 2 going over to the members of the one Sharklet. GG. Well played. Okay. Well, that was our series. A wonderful series at that. I just really quickly want to shout out Falendrith. He's been with me this entire time. He has been doing all the observation work and absolutely killing it, because that makes my life easier, because I don't have to move the mouse, drink water, and touch all the, move all the keys around, and or pull up all the different stats and stuff and push keys, basically. So major just shout out to Falendrith as just all that. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And also all of you, thank you for being here and supporting the stream and hanging out and watching some awesome games. I am currently going to find out who wants to do interview. I'm going to find out who wants to do the interview, and we'll get that going in just a second here. I just got to say thank you all for hanging out. It's so awesome of you to support the... hi, what room? Interview room, please. All right. So I'm going to have him jump in there. And BKL, they actually first picked it. So... and actually, at this time, we are going to be joined by the Samuro themselves. Stark, how you doing? Congratulations on your win.
Yeah. Went pretty well, I think.
So
I said in game 2.
Yes. Now, so game number 1. Let's back up to that. So Volskaya Foundry, that was the map pick of your choosing. They ended up bringing this Deckard Cain Phoenix, this combo, like this big old wombo, into your map. Were you afraid of that at all, or were you just like, all right, we know how to play around this? Because it seemed like it was one of those, like, if they get the setup, they kind of win every engagement, and you almost denied it every single time. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Firstly, I feel I should apologize, because technically we picked Towers of Doom, but I ignored everything that the team said, and I said, well, Sky Foundry's good, right? And we picked that. So we were meant to pick Towers of Doom, but I screwed up. So that's on me. But I feel like we dictated the pace of game 1 pretty well. Like, we got an early soak advantage and just kind of rode that wave as you do on Volskaya. And the rest was pretty much history, if I remember correctly.
And
so,
then
the heal pulse camp was super scary at like level 4.
Yes.
But then Chess was like, no, they're all dead. I'm like, oh, okay.
It was
what he said in comms. Like, we were just like, oh, this is scary, and then he said, no, they're all dead. I'm like, oh.
I actually got to say, Kaimo Tripson in a lot of those situations found amazing lunar flares on the Tyrande in that game number 1 to be able to lock down multiple members, and then that allowed just Chess Looter to just absolutely do whatever he needed to do, and get damage out, as well as you just in the backline consistently applying the pepper, if you will.
Yeah.
Now
Our
moving
team was
over,
very seasoned.
it's very the enemy team was very seasoned. Now moving over to game number 2, that was their choice. It's Braxis Holdout. It's not a map that a ton of teams play, but I do think that you guys play it. Was the Samro? Excuse me.
We don't play it.
You don't play it at all? I have to go
No,
through
we
my
have
notes.
tastes. We have tastes. We
Ooh.
like real maps where you can play the Heroes of the Storm game.
Ouch.
But does
so
anyone like Braxis? Like,
I mean, I like
really?
casting it.
Okay, well,
So it's the difference. It's like I love it when I get to cast stuff. But no, the insta lock onto Samurai. Were you guys at all afraid of them picking up heroes that will be able to quest off of that and stuff like that, or were you just like, we got this, we're fine?
No, the game's over.
Dang.
But
Well,
it is.
I guess. So is this a warning to Heroes Lounge Division 2 teams? Just they have to ban it, otherwise it's
I'm
just
25-7 in recorded Samurai games with the team. So.
Oh, you can't see my face, but woof. That's a terrifying stat.
It's 78.13%.
That's down to like the double decimal. That's really good.
I got a spreadsheet, so I'm not looking.
That's true. I thought I have the stat memorized. I have it off the top of my head. I always know.
Yeah, I'm open with it. If anyone wants to help me research and find a counter to the hero, they're welcome to leave it up. But otherwise, I have no reason not to pick it in every single game.
That is very true.
I'm just going to keep doing it.
And
Which is
so,
unfortunate because it's nice to play other heroes.
and so, with this 2-0 win, as you actually had, this is your second win in a row. Basically, you faced Jailbait last week, going up against CLG White, which I think it is a team that you have played in the past. Are you a little bit nervous now that you? I mean, because these are a lot of teams that I think you kind of know a little bit. Is there any sort of prep or any sort of worry you have into that, or are you just like, all right, as long as we get Samurai, we're good?
Not really. I mean, we've made this like mini team as kind of like a. Some of us wanted to do this for fun. We made it in your stream chat on Halloween because she was like, I want to do this, but we don't have enough people. I'm like, I have people. And that's kind of how we're taking this whole tournament. We're just like showing up, and if we enjoy it, then we win. So we played CGL White before. I honestly don't remember the games. But I think as long as we show up and have a good time, that's our priority. Whereas in NGS, we'd like to try and do well.
I see.
If that makes sense. So
I get it.
We're on a holiday break, It's Christmas. We're chilling.
Oh, I love the approach that you're taking for the league. That's actually I think a really fun way. Yeah,
we changed our portraits. You can tell.
Yeah, they're all not ghillie sharks. They're all actually because no one saw it, but shout out to Cat Peach. Everyone on the side of Ghillie Shark made their portraits Probius, and they said they love you. So if you're out there,
Game 1 was Asmodan.
And game 1 was Asmodan. I was very happy about that. I was like, do we get an Asmodan? Do we get an Asmodan? No. Of course not.
Wouldn't want to subject you to my Asmodan.
But
everything I play is a melee assassin. Remember, you're a melee assassin, Asmodan.
True.
Ugh,
I mean, Wrath. I mean, it's Wrath. It's all Wrath. But
well, you can teach me how down.
But no, these games were so much fun to cast and to watch. But before I let you go, are there any shoutouts that you'd like to give?
Yeah, super duper shout out to Let's Take Boss because they played super well and they were super relaxed and it's fun to play against them. Shout out to Gilly because she's awesome. Shout out to Game 2 because I played Samurai. Do you want a shout out? Shout out to Bahamut.
Thank you.
I'll try not to kill you in D&D on the weekend.
Oh, that's probably inevitable.
Yeah, probably inevitable. I don't have Fireball because I'm a level 2 character, but
soon TM.
When I do.
Whoops, you're all in a room that's too small. But no, thank you so much for this interview.
Yeah.
The games were great, and I can't wait to see you guys further down the line in the Heroes Lounge season.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait to see you cast.
Thank you so much.
I was going to say you too, but you're not playing.
Maybe one day. But thank you so much for everything. You have a great night, Stark, and I'll talk to you soon.